One.
What's up? I'm Nelson.
I'm Nathaniel.
I'm Eric, and this is Coffee Unfiltered. How's everyone doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm just doing wonderful.
Splendid.
Splendid. You are very chipper.
Chipper is a good word for it.
I have this homemade vanilla almond syrup. You guys ever want to know how to make this? Have you tried it? Have you?
Yeah, I've got it in my cup right now.
Do you like it?
So far, so good.
It's very easy.
What's the process?
You boil 1 cup of water. I put honey in it. So I melt down some honey and stir that in. And then I put a teaspoon of vanilla extract and almond extract in it. And then you just let it cool once it starts boiling.
Nice, okay.
And that's it. Takes 10 minutes, and it's delicious. Alright, fellas. I found this video. And I want to know your guys' reaction to it.
That's my cup. Eric, why did you do that?
Can you guys see the screen?
That's my cup.
Go for it.
For those of you only listening to the audio, to follow along with us, go to the YouTubes. Type
What
in.
the heck, Eric?
Type in. Well, no, I'm saying like so they can watch the video along.
That's
with
my cup.
Oh yeah, I mean it's fine. It's just syrup.
I don't want syrup.
Oh, you don't? You drinking it straight?
Yes.
I didn't know you drank it straight.
Black and solid.
When did this happen? Hang on. We'll get to the video. When did this happen?
It's been a few weeks at least.
Yes.
A month or two.
Like 2 days ago, you were drinking a caramel frappuccino from Starbucks. That could not have more sugar in it. Sorry.
There are splurges.
Caramel white mocha frappuccino.
There are. Well, obviously, if I'm going to splurge, I'm going all out.
Oh, that's right.
But if I'm going to just drink from home, yes, I just drink regular black. Except when someone puts a random spoon in it with extract.
Well, it's not like he licked the spoon and put it in there.
It has his germs.
Okay. First off,
now
it's a syrup. It's not an extract. The extract is in the syrup.
It's biologically tainted.
Be clear. Biologically?
Yes.
I don't think it's biological. It's not alive.
No.
Isn't biology the study of living things?
There's bacteria on your hands that has transferred into the cup.
Well, I didn't touch the end of the spoon.
That's
you think it crawled down the whole spoon to get into your cup?
Well, the flavor is tainted.
Well, I'll let you taste it, then you can decide if it's been
I don't
tainted.
know. There's a spoon there. It might be difficult to taste it with that spoon there. Maybe you should think about what you've done.
I'll let you figure it out. For those of you watching at home, only listening to audio, go to the YouTube, type in "rats drive tiny cars," and you can follow along with us.
No, I think
We're watching the third-ish video down. It's about 50 seconds long. I'll give you the premise of what they did here. They built a tiny car for the rat. You can see him in the little tiny car.
Okay.
Aluminum floor. It has little copper metal ends that they hold on to. And whenever they hold on to it, it completes the circuit. So the car will go forward.
Rats are already bad enough. We want them driving now.
Yeah, we do. I promise you, we do. So whatever they...
I'll hold out judgment.
All right. Here, let's watch this. There will be no audio for reasons.
Your head is in the way.
I will move it. So they put a treat down and they reward the rat with the treat, obviously, when it gets there.
Why are we teaching rats to drive? Don't get it.
Dr. Kelly Lambert thinks it's a good idea. You guys seeing this?
But why?
I don't know why. I think they were just like, can we do it?
I can just imagine. I can just see the remake of Willard now, where the rats are driving to chase the little old lady instead of crawling up the stairs.
What's that meme from Jurassic Park? You were so busy thinking about whether you could that you didn't stop to think whether or not you should.
Yeah, I don't believe we should.
Yeah. That's gonna be a no from me.
That's a no from you?
Yeah, that's a no from me as well.
Just like this is a no.
You can drink it. So
I guess it's coffee unfiltered.
it is.
What do I do with this?
That's why I put it in your cup because I didn't know what to do with it.
Did you not think I had a coffee cup? There we go. Okay.
So what's interesting is they gave them little copper tubes to hold on to, and then they learned that that by doing so, by holding on to it, they go forward.
How do they steer?
So they mixed it up after that and made it so if they only hold on to one of the copper tubes, it will turn that direction.
Kind of like using an all-purpose lawnmower.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Zero turn.
Yeah, and so similar to that. And so they started doing that, and these rats drive around in these little.
Are we talking rats multiple or
tubes.
Just one rat? Is one
No, they trained 11 males and 6 females.
Oh yeah, that's okay. This is how the world.
They're building they're building a little rat army.
Yeah, and so they tested the anxiety levels. And they said that at first the rats were pretty anxious because they're learning something new. And I think that's everyone's the same way.
Of course.
And then once they got used to it and they're at this part where they're just scooting around.
How do you
know what's going on.
How do you test a rat's anxiety level?
Look, I assume they have sensors attached to the body. I don't know. They're the scientists. They test the anxiety level.
I see.
But they said once they get around to where they're comfortable driving around, and you can watch this video like, you can tell it's still like a rat doing it, but they look fairly comfortable. They're not anxious at all.
I call BS. There's somebody behind the camera controlling the
you
car.
Think so?
You think so? I call BS.
You think the University of Richmond would do that?
You know what? Yes. Yes, I do. I call BS.
All right, we're calling you out.
Maybe because I just don't want to drive.
Nelson is calling out the University of Richmond.
I don't know. I think the rats are doing it, but I think it also demonstrates that human stupidity has no bounds.
Nah.
Just because we're willing to do this?
Yes.
Well, like, we're not going to put them behind a car.
How many more things can you think of that would be so much more useful to spend your time with?
Maybe we should put them behind the car.
Solving world hunger.
Think about it. You never have to drive again.
World
There's so many
peace.
rats in the world.
A cure for cancer.
Yeah, but who cares about all of that when you never have to drive again? This is the beginning of the true driverless car.
I am not having a rat drive me.
So you're not at all interested in this? Like, you don't find it interesting that
I do find it interesting.
Rats are intelligent enough to figure out how to drive this thing?
It's more like a morbid curiosity.
What's morbid about it?
Because rats are gross, and they're associated with filth. Oh boy, cat videos.
I'm sorry. We'll go back to the rats and go.
Anyway, yeah, so they're associated with filth, so that's and death.
Yeah, but like rats that are kept in the lab are clean.
Are they though? Are they?
Well, yes. How are they exposed to diseases and bacteria that are kept in the lab?
Their own fecal matter.
Would have what disease?
I don't know.
If
they're rats.
Okay, so
they have rat disease.
You're saying that a rat born and bred in the lab that has not had any exposure to anything outside of the lab automatically has some type of disease.
Who knows what type of mutations they're bringing about in there?
I mean, they're grown in the lab.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Well, I mean, they could have mutations because we do mess with them, but not disease.
So
the mutations.
You're saying that there's a possibility these are the same rats that use to test diseases and whatnot?
I mean, they could be from the same strain.
Now, look, I can't. I don't know. I've never been to the University of Richmond, but I assume they have a lot of rats there.
Right.
Exactly. Who knows what combinations of wackiness?
I think they know.
Right, but are they telling the public? The public has a right to know, and I doubt that we know.
So look, I think it's interesting that the further we get along in this life and society and culture as we go, the more fascinating animals become. Like 200 years ago, we would have never thought that a rat would be driving a car to get a treat.
Because we had better things to do.
It's still interesting.
Like win the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, but like it's still interesting the fact that rats have this capability,
Oh, I'm not
like
denying
the
it's
intelligent line.
interesting. It's
I
just
think
unnecessary.
I think it's more along the lines of
Cat video incoming.
I think it's more along the lines of human hubris. It's like we've got to the point where we feel we're so superior, we want to test the intelligence of lower life forms, so to say. And we're starting to realize that, humans aren't the only ones that can do what we do with the proper training and knowledge.
Don't you think there are better things to do with your time, though, or for people to do with their time?
Well, I mean, if you've got 200 groups studying cancer, why not have one studying rest and drive?
But that 201 group could be the one that actually discovers the cure.
Nah, I kind of see. I kind of see that. I see that.
What practical application does this have?
It's not practical. It's just testing the bounds of the intelligence of animals.
Then
Right.
why?
Why not?
Shouldn't we know the limits of animals?
We want to know
rats?
the likelihood of certain animals being able to rise up against us. So we need to know how smart they really are. If we underestimate their smartness, their genius, whatever you want to call it, then when they rise up, it will be a surprise.
So we're concerned about them rising up, so let's train them how to drive cars.
Well, we're just training 3 or 4 of them to drive cars, so we can
16.
see if it's 16 to drive cars.
That's the whole family.
So we can see if it's possible. We need to know if they can do this or not. That way, if the rat revolution happens, we'll know if they can drive our cars or not.
Did you see those cars? Those things are tiny.
They're not very big.
Yeah, but that's just the start, though.
We could just crush them under our feet if we needed to.
You can crush one
look,
rat. You can't crush a
look,
storm.
the rats are not great. He just drove right into the wall.
Well, that's
how they know to turn.
Well, now we know that, hey, if the rat revolution ever happens, they can't drive our cars.
Can we talk about how we're training rats how to drive cars? But you all know, driving down the road, there are some humans who cannot drive cars and should not have a license.
Especially in this state. Have we said what state we're in?
We're in North Carolina. The viewers know
I'm going to make a lot of enemies, but North Carolina drivers are the worst drivers I have ever seen. I'm not originally from North Carolina.
Bro, this is nothing.
I was going to say, as someone born and bred in North Carolina, I would say generally we're not that bad, but then as soon as any inclement weather hits, we forget how to drive.
I mean, there's some inner cities or big cities that are probably worse. But in terms of general state population, I've never seen the state worse than North Carolina. They just drive so horribly.
Well, how many states
and they'll drive super slow in the left-hand lane.
How many states have you been
in the world.
Yeah, how many states have you?
I've probably been to 25 or 30.
How many have you been in for an extended amount of time?
I've driven through most of those.
But I don't think you can get a good feel of the drivers just by driving through. You need to be there for a little bit.
Yeah, driving on the interstate doesn't count because we got drivers from other states as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but whenever you see a bad driver, they almost always have a North Carolina license.
As a native North Carolinian, I'm really upset right now.
Is that what it's called? North Carolinian?
Yeah.
North Carolinian.
I'm originally from Louisiana.
What are people from Louisiana called?
Louisianans.
I like North Carolinians better.
You just add an N to the end of it? Louisianan?
A-N-S.
Louisianan? Okay.
So,
an A-N?
You're from Indiana.
I'm from Indiana.
So, are you guys
what are we called? What are we called
Indians.
From Indiana? I'll let you guess.
Indianans?
No.
Indies.
No.
Indiana.
Indianites?
Chat. Viewers, leave a comment below if you think you know what people from Indiana are called before I say what it is. I'll let you guys guess one more time before I reveal it. Give them time, if they're listening, to pause the video and throw down in the comments what people from Indiana are called.
Did we already guess Indianians?
We did. I'm going with Joneses.
What?
No.
What?
No. No.
I still have one more guess.
Yeah, you still have one more guess. We're not Joneses, although that's a good answer.
I think you're jonesing for a stretch. Indiana. Where is the Indianites? I'm delaying so that people have time to write their answers.
We're not Indianites either, although we do have a
I already guessed them.
a large like Mennonite and Amish culture in Indiana. There's quite a bit of them there. Also in Ohio, which is right next to Indiana, for those of you who don't know state geography.
Are you just Indians?
No, we are not Indians.
Okay, I don't know.
We are Hoosiers.
I'm pretty sure the official state name is not Hoosier.
It's Hoosier.
No.
I promise you.
You want to believe
No.
that's...
I promise you.
No,
You-
that's
What, you're going to look up what people from Indiana are called?
yes.
You look it up.
I am going to.
Hoosiers. No, so where did that term come
I don't know, man.
from?
Probably a guy who had a little bit of some corn sake.
I thought that was a
Yeah,
basketball team. So,
The basketball team is named after what people from Indiana are called.
ah,
That's true.
They're called Indianans or Indianians, or they're called Hoosiers.
Yeah, we're called Hoosiers.
This is like the official state of Indiana. I'm looking it up.
but we have a native Hoosier here. So why
That's
not
right.
his word?
Oh, here's what is a Hoosier. This is from the Indiana.gov.
Yeah, what does my home state government say a Hoosier is?
It is one of the oldest of state nicknames and has a wider acceptance than most. Let's see.
So you're from North Carolina, you're from Louisiana. I think we've discussed this before, but I'd like to bring it up. Who are some famous people that came from your state?
Oh,
And I ask because I've got some good ones from Indiana.
I've got two of them.
Okay.
Brothers. The brothers that created Stranger Things.
Oh.
The producers, the writers or producers?
The Duffer Brothers?
Creator, it doesn't
Duffer
matter.
Brothers. So the creator.
They're from North Carolina?
They're from North Carolina.
Wow,
Yep.
that's a big one.
Yep. Red and Link.
Good Mythical Morning.
Yep.
Love to talk to you guys sometime. You're watching this?
That's all I can think of right now. So
I mean, like one of the Wright brothers.
I'm not gonna. I gotta look.
Both Wright brothers?
no, they're both Wright brothers are from Ohio, but they flew in. Ohio.
Okay, that's right. So they're from Ohio,
So we're
but the flight took place in North Carolina.
right. So we're first in flight, whereas Ohio has the name birth of aviation. You know where they came from.
Okay.
And not to mention that the most astronauts come, like the greatest number of astronauts come from Ohio or something like that. If you look up
I mean, it's not surprising.
birthplaces of Ohio, most of them come from Ohio.
It's not surprising. I think they have a lot of like space museums and
Yeah.
stuff in Ohio. They have a lot going on. What do you?
I'm
You're googling this? You don't know famous people from Louisiana?
Oh, Petey Pablo,
Britney Spears
No.
was raised in Louisiana.
raised or born?
I was looking it up to confirm it. I knew the name, or one of the names.
Of Britney Spears?
She was not born. But anyway,
Do you get to claim her though?
she grew up in Louisiana, so yes.
Okay.
Nah, I say birthright.
Yeah. I mean,
There aren't that many famous.
look. So far,
Louisianans.
he has named one person. We can give it to him. Okay.
There are others, but I'm bad at this. I don't know a lot of famous people.
All right. From
There's
Indiana.
a bunch of politicians. Does that count?
I've heard about the politics in Louisiana. I do not think that counts.
Parishes. And,
Louisiana has a very unique political spectrum.
People from Indiana, we have Jeff Gordon. Love him or hate him, he's from Indiana. We have Fuzzy
Why
Zeller.
would you hate Jeff Gordon?
Oh, well, you're not big into NASCAR,
No.
but people either love Jeff Gordon or hate Jeff Gordon.
Oh, no,
There's no in between.
yeah, all I know is
that's a NASCAR.
yeah. Well, yeah, I hedge my bets too soon on him. Yeah, I just know he's a NASCAR driver. So I know about him.
We have Michael Jackson,
Gotta give it to you. You guys,
the king of pop.
you have it. There's nothing better.
What are you gonna do?
Well, that's also controversial nowadays.
No, he still changed music
Yeah,
forever.
I know, but I mean, it's not necessarily something that people like to claim nowadays.
I would claim it from the rooftops.
I think he still has like the highest selling album drop of all time.
Regardless of what he did.
Oh no.
Regardless of that, yeah, like you've got to look at the fact that he changed. Like he said, he changed music. He still is known, like he said, as the king of pop, regardless of the what he did.
Sure.
And he was dance moves are insane.
Exactly. I mean,
he did a lot of scores. He did a lot of scores for video games. Like he did some of the Mega Man soundtrack.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta go back and play Mega Man.
He was a variety.
Some more. I barely played any of them.
But that brings up a good question. Can your actions outweigh your accomplishments?
In this culture, people think so. But the real answer,
I say no.
Let me think. Give your argument. Well, I think of where I stand. You say your accomplishments can outweigh your actions.
Well, not to the point where they can exonerate you from your actions, but your actions shouldn't take away from your accomplishments.
So we're talking like legacy.
Right. So, for instance, if you did something like Michael Jackson and the Child Abuse Freak Scandals, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. So yes, and all.
Bad
so
stuff.
if you're talking to someone like Michael Jackson, if you're talking to someone like Bill Cosby, yes, what they did was horrible. I'm not saying they give it. We should exonerate them from their actions. I'm not saying that at all. They should pay for what they did, but that shouldn't diminish the impact they had on pop culture and culture in general. So, for instance, there were a lot of people going around saying, did you guys follow the R. Kelly scandal?
I'm more familiar with the Bill Cosby scandal.
Okay.
Are you more familiar with Bill Cosby? Or okay,
Definitely.
we can do Bill Cosby.
Okay, we'll stick with Bill Cosby.
Oh boy!
So you all know what happened with Bill Cosby.
For those of you out there who don't know, fill them in.
Give us like the 30-second version.
Yeah. Okay. Long story short, Bill Cosby was considered the grandfather of pop culture, father of pop culture. You know, hey, Albert,
especially
America's dad.
America's dad. That's he was a very successful comedian.
Right.
Had a
Cosby show.
Comedy sitcom.
Right. But recently, it came to light that he was essentially drugging and raping women. Right.
Or not drugging them and just kind of coercing them into the situation.
Right.
Like on set and stuff. But yes.
So, yes, now he's currently serving jail time for what he did, which I agree with. But I also state that there are some people who are saying, the best way to put this. And
so I think some people are saying that his awards and accolades should be removed because of how horrible of a person he was during the time.
Thank you. Yes.
Off screen.
Thank you. Yes. I couldn't put that any better. I don't agree with that. Because regardless of what kind of person he was, his awards, his accolades, his actions, they did change the face of TV culture. And this is why I wanted to, you know what, and I was going to use R. Kelly as an example, but I'll use Michael Jackson instead. Given all that we know and what we assume Michael Jackson did, what we know he did and what we assume he did, does that mean that we should stop listening to his music? We should stop playing him on the radio?
Just play devil's advocate. Some would say yes. We can't.
Yeah, I understand. Some would say yes.
It's stained now.
It's stained, but we also, in my eyes, that's like blaming the music for what the man did. The music is great. The music changed the face. What his music changed pop as we know it.
No, and
so
reality, I agree with you.
So I don't think that we should stop playing his music. We should just forget about everything he did because of what kind of person he was.
I agree. I think that principle goes back to historical too, because if you go back 200 years, people did stuff like slavery that we obviously don't agree with nowadays. But
this got awkward.
Go ahead.
For those of you only listening to the audio,
anyway,
let's just say my ancestors may have oppressed someone else's ancestors in this room.
The point of what I was saying is, for instance, the founding fathers, they
Right.
had a lot of issues, but
Right,
they also had amazing accomplishments.
Right.
We're here today speaking English likely because of them.
Right.
And so just because they had issues doesn't diminish their accomplishments.
And that's basically what I was trying to say,
To go
but
to your
not
point.
as eloquently. I can't. Yeah.
No, I just think yours is a great example. It's just an older example.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like I was trying to make that point. I just couldn't put it in.
Yeah, both are great. I agree.
So, what are your thoughts on it,
I look at it a little differently.
Eric?
People are drawn to things, whether it be books, music, entertainment, whatever, because there's something intrinsically beautiful that was created. And we know this because when there are books, music, entertainment, shows, whatever, that are not as well made, they're not as well liked. Because there's some element of beauty missing from it. Now, that's a much bigger topic that we can go into later. And so someone can paint something that's absolutely beautiful, regardless of what turmoil they're under inside.
Why is that still playing?
I put it on Listen on Repeat. So listenonrepeat.com is an extension of YouTube, and you can play a video, and it loops.
This is
nonstop.
not paid advertising.
Not paid advertising. It's just fantastic. But it just loops nonstop. And so,
Can you not?
well, it's just the rats driving the cars.
I know. I've seen enough rats driving.
Nah, you need to appreciate it.
Not to completely ruin your moment.
No, it's okay. You did. And then, and so I also think like these people who have achieved great things, Bill Cosby, Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, I guess. Did he do I Believe I Can Fly?
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic song.
That was R. Kelly?
Yeah. So like, it also just stands to show that no one, regardless of position, is exempt from the draw of corruption.
Of course.
And so it's horrible that what they did and what happened to them and everyone that they affected. But it should also be as a warning, like, we all need to guard our hearts and our actions because that could happen to us
I agree.
if we're lazy.
I agree.
I agree.
Thank you.
And not just because I'm afraid of being kicked out of here. See?
No, I think it's true. I think on a smaller scale, you could use the example of actors or actresses that you disagree with their political or personal views, and you really don't like them necessarily as a person, just being
Like, you
honest.
still enjoy their work as an actor.
But yeah, they can still do excellent
Yeah.
jobs
I
in
agree.
their
Yeah.
shows.
But then, like, you have the flip side where you have, like, George Clooney, who is just wildly successful in the entertainment industry. And he's out there running, like, a non-profit to help, like, undeveloped areas.
True.
And then you have, like, DiCaprio fighting climate change. Fighting humans' negative impact on climate change, which I know is up for discussion,
Yeah.
which we can discuss if you want.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But-
That's a whole
if you
nother
believe in
topic.
climate change.
But you have these
Let's
people
move
using their
forward.
platforms and they're focusing on doing good stuff rather than letting.
Or at least what's good to them.
Yeah. I mean, I
Makes
don't
you
know.
like him even more.
I don't think helping underdeveloped countries can at all be seen.
Like
That's
Keanu
not
Reeves.
good.
He's awesome
Yeah,
on
Keanu
screen
Reeves.
and off.
Keanu Reeves. I think one of the reasons people like Keanu so much on screen is because they love him off screen.
True.
He's also got like this brand now. Which
Yeah.
is pretty great.
Yeah, and his name's Keanu. Keanu? It's probably Keanu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he just seems like an all around cool guy.
He's breathtaking.
He's never taken my breath.
Yeah, that was a reference.
Yeah,
you
I don't think
obviously
you got.
didn't get.
I don't think you got that
You
right.
disappoint me, Eric.
What's the reference?
He was presenting Cyberpunk 2099. Was it 2099?
2077.
2077. Wow.
So close.
Cyberpunk, Cyberpunk 2077 at was it E3?
I think so. Yeah.
And there's just this moment where someone just yells out to stage, "You're breathtaking," and Keanu immediately just flips it. No, you're breathtaking.
So cool.
And you didn't know about the moment.
No.
But we've explained it for you now, so you can be in on the meme, and everybody in the audience as well.
You know how I love memes. The only memes I truly appreciate are Brandon Sanderson memes.
Why is that still a repeat?
My God, just let it go.
Maybe if it stops. I don't understand. He's torturing us with rats.
You're the only one being tortured.
I'm just preparing you for the uprising.
Exactly.
This is why he's able to keep us here, is because we're being kept in by the rats.
So people out there to know. I live in a suburban subdivision with no rats.
There is a looping video of rats.
We have plenty of stray cats in my neighborhood. There are no rats.
But there's
None.
a looping video of rats.
I've never even had a mouse in my house, man. But the day I do, I'm getting a cat. Because one mouse is too many. You want something?
No.
Don't say that often.
So, moving on to another topic, I guess.
Sure.
Did you guys happen to hear Scorsese's comments on superhero movies?
They were crap.
Yeah, basically.
For those of the people out there who don't know who Scorsese is, why don't you explain?
Martin Scorsese, which he is admittedly one of the best directors alive today. With Taxi Driver, Goodfellas.
Okay.
He basically said that superhero movies like those in the MCU aren't movies. They're crap.
Well, I mean, they're movies. Like,
Not true movies.
well, you could argue that they're not true movies, but they are still films.
I think the term he used, he said they weren't cinema.
Cinema. There you go.
What was his argument? Let's dive into it. What's his argument for it?
Honestly,
Did it say?
I don't know, because as soon as I saw that, I just dismissed it immediately and kept
Oh,
on
okay, come on, man. You
I think he basically
gotta dig
said
in for the fans.
he basically said they weren't cinematic or like artistically like well made. He said his closest analogy for what they're like is a theme park. Which, I mean, to be fair, if that's what they are, like a theme park, I'm cool with that too.
Well, I definitely think they're like a theme park. But that doesn't make them bad. People enjoy theme parks a lot.
I just know there was a lot of backlash. A lot of people spoke out about it, and then he ended up retracting his comments.
Oh, don't retract it. Stay to your convictions.
Basically stating now that they're a new form of art.
So that's what I was going to say, is that CGI has gotten so advanced and relatively cheap for what it is that the art style has shifted into CGI creation, which sometimes creates an issue with writers not producing as good of stories, and they make up for it with great CGI. That's my opinion. I'm not saying MCU is an example of that. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
People can put out pretty poor stories, but they have great CGI. So people are like, oh, that was a great movie. Like, no, you were entertained. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a good movie.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I think there are exceptions to that, though.
As someone who goes to the movies specifically to be entertained, I don't mind that.
I would also
I love movies where I can go and just turn my brain off. and just sit back and enjoy what I'm watching with popcorn.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they all need to be like A Beautiful Mind.
Right.
Or
I
The
prefer
Sixth Sense.
movies
They don't
that
need
are
to be.
intellectually stimulating.
I mean, those are good, but you don't want that all the
So, Matthew McConaughey?
time. Hey, you seen the Lincoln Lawyer? That
Hey,
wasn't bad.
I like Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
He seems like a really cool guy. I'd love to hang out with him sometime. Maybe do an interview if you're available. He seems like a cool guy.
Yeah.
And he seems like genuine. Like, I believe and from what I've heard, he acts on set how he acts in real life. Just relaxed.
Chill.
He's just enjoying the ride.
So with the movie, with comic book movie thing though, I would say, and I read this from someone online, that the DC movies though I think are arguably cinematic. They're much more artsily.
Those would
done.
be Aquaman.
Yeah,
Wonder
I mean, not
Woman.
necessarily Aquaman specifically, but yeah.
I always get
Aquaman,
the two
Wonder
mixed up,
Woman.
DC and Marvel. But DC is Justice League.
Right. Now, obviously, varying qualities, but I think they do have more of a cinematic goal that they're going for. Now, especially with a movie like Joker, for example. It's very,
The new one.
Yeah, it's very cinematic in the way it's made.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Do you like it?
It's very good.
I've heard it's very good.
I've heard it's good. I haven't seen it. And for those who may be watching this in the future, he's referring to the Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
Definitely recommend. Don't take your kids.
Because everyone knows the Heath Ledger Joker, fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I would. I'm sure this will be controversial, but I would put him on par with Heath Ledger.
Well, I've heard he's different.
Oh yeah, it's definitely completely
Yeah.
different. But I would say it's on par in terms of performance. So, which I think is a high recommendation.
Interesting note about the Heath Ledger Joker is that he messed around with the Joker so much that, because you know how he has that interesting inflection in his voice and the way he speaks as Joker? They said every time he did a line, they didn't know how his voice was going to fluctuate like that because he was so deep into the character that even that was unstable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He got deep. And apparently, like, he would just walk around set just talking like the Joker because he was trying to
That's
keep.
not creepy at all.
Well, no, yeah, super creepy. But he was trying to keep the voice, trying to figure out the lines and mess with them. But he would just be talking like the Joker. Super creepy.
Pretty crazy.
Super creepy.
You get
But he's
more of
fantastic.
a origin story though with Joaquin Phoenix.
It looked more like an origin, even just from the trailer.
And
But you said it's definitely adult. Definitely don't take your kids. I mean, even the trailers, I was like, that might be much for me, and I'm not a kid.
So there's only, without spoilers, there's only like a few like really violent moments during the movie, but it's definitely not something you would want to take your kids for. But I mean, so like for those who are squeamish, there's only a few moments where you would have to look away. That makes a difference.
The little people at home.
There are only a few moments where you would have to look away if you're really squeamish.
Yeah,
but I think
I don't like that stuff.
I think it has a really good commentary, and it also shows Joker's descent into madness. Because Joker, I think in the comics, doesn't really have a backstory or an origin story, so it's really fascinating to see their take on it.
Interesting.
And Joaquin Phoenix really is a tour de force when it comes to his performance as an actor, because if I'm not mistaken, he is in every single frame of the movie, and he holds his own throughout it. You're not seeing Joaquin Phoenix when you watch the movie. You're seeing Arthur Fleck as the Joker.
Interesting. So where do you guys stand on MCU not being cinema? Back to the original question, because the viewers at home really just want to be angry at us.
Personally,
So-
I don't care. Like I said, I go to movies to be entertained. I go to movies to turn my brain off and not have to think too much. I mean, yes, an intellectual movie, it's good every once in a while, but I go to the movies just to like I said, to be entertained, to like what I see.
But is it cinema?
That's what I'm
Because
saying.
that's the statement was it's not cinema.
That's what I'm saying. Me personally, I don't care if it is or it isn't.
I would
That's not
say
the
yes,
question.
but I can see how it would offend the sensibilities of someone more traditional like Scorsese.
I would also say that it is cinema. Simply by the avenue through which it's produced. It's cinema.
I agree.
I may disagree with it, not like it, but it's cinema.
Why is that still playing?
Oh my god.
Preparing you for the invasion.
Yeah, pretty soon they will be driving your cars for you.
Look,
Get used to it.
Please!
look, the rat
Am I gonna have to climb over you and turn it
No,
off?
it's gonna go on. I'm gonna set that as my background.
Right.
The video is my background.
We're
The
gonna be talking about this in the next video.
the rat cars, I find it amazing, but so pointless. But it's amazing. It's amazing.
I feel like this is like deja vu all over again.
It's just amazing. It's amazing that a rat can do this.
Well, see, here's the thing. It may seem pointless now, but who knows what kind of advancement in the future that this might actually help or.
Are you suggesting that the rats are going to replace the post office?
Possible. But who knows what we may find in the future, what kind of scientific advancement there may be where this could actually be useful. So it's good to know that this can be.
It doesn't have to play on repeat though.
It does.
It does.
It does.
You don't know Nathaniel, but we're gonna have you answer questions about these videos.
Yeah. There's going to be a trivia on rats driving cars.
Right.
Rats and cars getting caught. Because they're hyped up on. I mean, you know they're hyped up on adrenaline.
What? I'm
Caffeine.
moving faster than what?
Caffeine just pulsing.
I'm moving without moving. How?
Maybe that Celtish band was hyped up on caffeine.
Man, Did you go to the Renaissance Festival?
I did not.
Okay. I didn't know if you did or not.
Nah, my son wasn't.
I figured since you came to this recording that you didn't.
No, I was going to come anyway.
Were you?
But my son just wasn't feeling well first.
We're talking about the North Carolina Renaissance Festival for those of you listening. It's such an amazing event. It's so good. It happens every weekend from October through November. And it's just great. You need to, if you're in the area, you need to go. It's very good.
Highly recommend.
It's very good. Very good. There's like 4 or 6 stages.
Jousting,
Tons of entertainment.
falconry.
I was looking forward to seeing the falconry show.
I mean, they're still going through November, so you can
Is
go.
it through November?
No, to the end of November.
Oh.
If you only go to one joust, go to the last one. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. The only
There's a special.
so they
performance.
do like different themes for each joust throughout the day, so they're not all just the same. So the only issue I have with that, and I mean I know why they do it, but like all of the shows save their big event until the last performance of the day. But then the problem is they're all competing with each other at the final show, and everyone like there's just so many people watching the final joust because it's really good. And so it's just sad because some of the acrobats and stuff do insane stuff. But it's on the last show, so you may not see it.
It might be worth going
It's very good.
days. A couple days at least if it's your first year.
Yeah, I would say first year, I would go like 2 days in a row.
Also,
Get the full experience.
turkey leg. Make sure you get a turkey leg.
Yeah.
That is the highlight. The number one thing about the Renaissance Festival. must see,
So-
do not miss.
I would like to go back to the diversity in our cast here from 3 different states.
Okay.
We did famous people from each state.
Right.
What are some famous foods that originated from your state? Culinary works of masterpiece. I will go first because I Googled it
Yeah.
not long ago. Indiana didn't have any. We're mostly just a corn state. And we'd be lying if we say we invented corn. And there's only so many ways to prepare corn. But I did find a list of strange foods from Indiana. And on that list was a peanut butter burger. And let me tell you what this peanut butter burger is. It is a hamburger, bun, obviously. You can put some lettuce on there if you want.
Right.
I wouldn't. It's got white American cheese, jalapenos, and peanut butter.
Yeah, no.
It sounds fairly gross. I decided, after reading this, a few weeks later, my wife made some burgers, so I said, hey, I'm going to try this thing. We have the ingredients. And it was very good. I don't know if I'd ever eat one again.
It may be because you're an illusion.
It might be. But the peanut butter reduces the heat bite from the jalapeno, and so it all just mixes very well to create a very good burger. It was very good.
The only two sandwiches I put peanut butter on is peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
And peanut butter and bologna.
Okay, you can get that. You can just leave.
The door is that way.
Yeah. Peanut butter and bologna?
Try it.
If you're out there and you eat peanut butter and bologna, give Nelson some love in the comments below.
Not that bad.
Because right now there's one person in the world who eats that.
2 people, thank you very much. Me and my mother.
Okay.
But
Well, you get it naturally.
So we're North Carolina now. What are some famous foods that
yeah,
come
we're
from?
saving Louisiana for last because they're like the cooking.
Yeah, I mean, look,
So
we
we're
could all
making-
name Louisiana dishes.
Seriously.
They may not have famous people, but they got food. But I'll let you name them. I won't take your advice.
I can't think of any. I mean, of course, it's Carolina barbecue versus every other barbecue.
It's not real barbecue.
I'm not gonna get into that with you today,
I'm with Nathaniel. Barbecue is ketchup based.
Anyway,
Vinegar.
we'll let him say the rest of his nonsense.
So
There's
I
a
can't
reason
think of any-
only North Carolina has vinegar based. Because no one else likes it. Everyone else is
You
like,
can all
nah.
get out. But I can't think of any actual foods, but I can think of 2 drinks.
Well, I think Carolina barbecue counts because it is unique to Carolina.
Okay, well,
Can we
Carolina
come up with
barbecue.
like Carolina sauce or something? I just feel like it's so abusive to barbecue to associate it with that. I just find it.
Yeah,
I find it a little
I
offensive.
shouldn't have anything in my hands right now.
You said there were 2 drinks though.
2 drinks. Cheerwine, which is a cherry soda, born and raised in the Carolinas.
Born and raised?
Basically,
Raised.
Dr. Pepper.
Cheerwine is not Dr.
No,
Pepper.
it's not Dr.
It is
Pepper.
not Dr.
It is not Dr. Pepper.
I've had Cheerwine. It's basically Dr.
It is
Pepper.
not Dr.
Yeah,
Pepper.
if you took like cherry syrup and filled your Dr. Pepper with it, it's much more cherry than it is
It
Dr.
really
Pepper.
is.
Anyway, sorry, I keep interrupting you.
And then Pepsi.
Is Pepsi from North Carolina?
Yes, it is.
That's a big one.
And also, this is not a culinary dish unless they're just that weird, but the Venus flytrap.
It's from North Carolina?
Yes. North Carolina Mountain.
We had Venus flytraps growing up. I like them. They're pretty cool. Pretty creepy.
But
like creepy in a cool way.
But I can. Yeah, but they first originally grew in the mountains of North
It's interesting.
Carolina. Not a culinary dish unless you want to try that. But just thought I'd throw that out there.
Is that it?
That's it. I can't think of
Wait, let me think if there's anything else from Indiana. I got nothing.
Take it away, Louisiana.
Well, I don't know if all these can be exclusively claimed by Louisiana, but they're certainly associated with Louisiana. So you've got gumbo, which usually has okra in it. Okra, I don't know that I've seen eaten anywhere outside of like the deep south. But okra is quite good in the right dishes. Anyway, gumbo is one. Jambalaya is another. Jambalaya, if you're from the north, I suppose.
What's spelled? Is it spelled with an A?
It's spelled with an A. But generally it's pronounced jambalaya.
I go with the natives.
Yeah.
Jambalaya.
Jambalaya, and then we've got crawfish. That's really a Louisiana delicacy. I don't think you can get that pretty much anywhere outside Louisiana.
Well, I think you can get like frozen crawfish, but from what I've heard, it's not anywhere near the same.
No, you do fresh boiled crawfish in Louisiana. You have couchon de lait, which usually involves a full stuffed pig.
What is that? Because it sounds French.
It is, yes. There are lots of French things about Louisiana.
But does that mean these things came from France?
I mean, some things did. Beignets is another thing.
Are you claiming
in New Orleans?
Are you claiming food that we know came from France?
I mean, there's a lot of cultural appropriation going on. Yes.
Okay. But so what's the what was the pig thing?
Couchon de lait.
What is that? Can you explain it?
No, I can't. It's just.
Well, I mean, like.
It's like a Southern celebration.
Well, how do they cook the pig? Is my question.
I don't know. I guess they oven roast it or something.
I'm assuming you're not talking about a pig picking.
It's a whole pig.
Yeah,
that's pig picking.
But it's called couchon de lait.
Okay.
In Louisiana.
So, do you? Have you ever been to a pig picking before?
Finally.
You ever been to a pig picking before?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You basically cook a pig, like right there, whole pig, and then you.
I mean, this is a pretty small pig.
But you get the idea.
I guess it's a pig and not a hog. I guess.
I mean, the
small pig.
Couchon de lait involves a whole pig, I think.
Yeah, so does a pig picking. And then
it looks like it's just a grilled pig.
And you pick the meat off, and dip it in whatever barbecue sauce you want. Pig picking.
Anyway, and then we do have barbecue in Louisiana. I don't know that you would call it an exclusive Louisiana thing.
Because it's not real barbecue.
No, it's the only real barbecue. Then let's see, as far as other things, I'm sure I'm forgetting tons of things. I don't think we can exclusively claim cornbread, but we do have a lot of that.
For those of people listening who are not as familiar with Louisianan food, Louisianan food cuisine.
Popeyes, we have that too.
Did Popeyes originate in Louisiana?
It's Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then we get Bojangles.
Yeah, we definitely got the better end of that.
Nah, you definitely didn't.
Nah, Popeyes.
North Carolinians have this really strange obsession with Bojangles. It's bizarre.
It's amazing.
It's bizarre.
I can tell you right now what the fascination with is. They're addicted to sugar.
But it's like
that seasoning of Bojangles is just coated in sugar.
But it's exclusive.
No. I cut sugar out of my diet for the most part, except for all natural sugars, so like fruits. And then I had a Bojangles fry, and it was just coated in sugar, man. You can taste it. Yeah, if you cut out sugar, you'll know.
Nah.
You'll know.
It's bizarre, their obsession with Bojangles.
For those people listening, what could you describe the difference between gumbo and jambalaya? I know they're completely different dishes, but they're similar. They have similar ingredients. So
one is a soup. One is more of a rice cake. I'm gonna get excoriated.
All right, let me see if I can help him. Gumbo is more soupy, so it's gonna have a lot more broth in it, and typically it will get better the longer it sits for longer. Like, so if you put it in the fridge overnight, it's going to get better because all the ingredients are going to seep into the soup. Or if you can boil it longer. Will Johnson told me that. Our friend Will, who's also from Louisiana, who is very much into food.
He's also from South Louisiana. I'm from North Louisiana.
Okay, so there's a difference. We need to get Will on sometime, and you guys can go back and forth. But then jambalaya, like you said, is more ricey. It's kind of more like a stir fry. But with Louisiana style ingredients,
sticky or thicker, I guess you could say.
It's very good. I love Louisiana style food.
It's excellent. You get,
I love it.
Sausage in there, chicken sometimes,
shrimp. Sometimes.
You can do shrimp. Yes, it's very good.
Normally onions and peppers.
A little bit of that, yes.
Man, I need to try and get Will on here with you. So you guys, because you both come from a state that just has such hearty food.
Yes.
That I'd love to hear you guys talk about.
The other thing I would mention is don't trust a lot of the mainstream sites that have recipes and stuff for jambalaya and gumbo. Do not trust them. They're a bunch of crap. For instance, some sites will put tomatoes in jambalaya, which is just heresy.
So I asked Will about that.
I think we've mentioned.
And we had this conversation. So I'll tell you what, we'll save this for a future episode, and where I can get Will on here and you guys can talk about.
You don't
talk
put
about
tomatoes in jambalaya.
We'll save it. I'd like to.
I would love to watch that.
So I think he agreed with you, but he knew the whole origin of the tomatoes in the jambalaya, and it was very interesting. So we'll save this for whenever he can join us. 'Cause I'd love to hear that. Love to hear you guys go back and forth, and just learn about good food.
Right.
I love it. We got about 5 minutes left.
That looks like more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, probably 6 or 7, but
We'll see.
yeah, but yeah. Think you guys want to chat about before we start wrapping up?
I just really want to emphasize for the viewers at home, North Carolina, whatever you want to call it, is not real barbecue. And
Boom.
oh, I'm so offended. Your only response is to put stuff in my coffee. I obviously have the moral high ground in this situation.
Wow. Perhaps you should read
I'll
this
be
book.
as childish as I can.
It's more like I think it's probably better just to call it flavored vinegar sauce or something like that. Because I think it's more accurate.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. And
Well, I think it's still like smoked and cooked,
yeah,
like on a barbecue.
of course,
It's still barbecued.
of course.
It's just it's not a ketchup based sauce. It's more
Right, it's a
vinegar based,
sauce, which is how it should be.
which is it's awful. I'm sorry, man. I like a lot about North Carolina, but I got some barbecue and I tried to eat it.
Any North Carolinians in the comment, help me out here.
Now I will say, I enjoyed it.
Only North Carolina.
I enjoyed it a lot when I got home and mixed the vinegar base that was already on it with some Sweet Baby Ray's. Them together mixed together it was pretty good.
It's because you're drowning out the.
Yeah, no,
crap.
Sweet Baby Ray's is delicious.
Now that's real barbecue.
Look,
Shame.
I like it.
Now, to be fair to
Shame.
North Carolinians, I think there are some places in the state that have real barbecue,
A lot of them have it like you can choose either one.
but you do have to be careful because if they don't have the real barbecue, you're really up a creek
Without a paddle.
without barbecue.
Oh, okay.
You're lucky I don't know much about Louisiana right now. Okay? I have no comebacks because all I know is North Carolina. I can't say anything.
Well, we're talking about food. You can't
I've
beat
never.
Louisiana in food.
That's true.
I win on that front. We're just stalling for time. Why is the rat video back up?
That's been going.
Stop it! Stop the rat video.
The more I watch it, the more creepy it gets.
Maybe you should stop watching it.
I don't see anything.
Did I ever tell you guys about the rat that I caught in Atlanta? I thought I did on a previous video. I'll tell you though, real quick. I'll finish up with
I
this
can't
story.
remember if it was on video or.
I think it was on video, but I'll tell the story
I'm
again.
about to climb over you and turn that off.
So I think I'm pretty sure I told the story. But in Atlanta, we live. I was living and I was a full-time missionary for a while, and we were housed in a partially restored meth house, crack house. It was crack. It wasn't meth. I'm sorry. and we were there with a bunch of people. We had a serious rat problem. And so one night, my roommate and I decided we were going to catch a rat. We borrowed a rat trap from someone who had one. Not a mouse trap, rat trap. Much bigger. We had a Snickers bar. Put the Snickers bar on the little lever. Set it. We knew it was coming in because who doesn't love Snickers? Middle of the night, 2:30, 3-ish in the morning, we hear a... And we thought, we got that rat. And the trap was in the room I was sleeping in.
Oh, wonderful.
So it's just like, wham! So we got up, turned on the light, and there was blood everywhere. It was rat blood, so pretty dangerous. But we picked up the trap, and we carried it outside. Then we got the rat off the trap. And then, obviously, then we cleaned up the blood. But this thing was probably this long without the tail. So for those of you who don't know, a foot, maybe 8 inches, something like that, 10 inches, a foot, without the tail. This thing was gigantic. And I mean, like, it'd been going around in the room every night. And so, got a rat.
It could have been crawling over you for all you know.
No, I would have woke up to that. I don't sleep well, and I wake up a lot. I would have woken up.
You're a light sleeper.
I'm a poor sleeper.
Have you ever had a sleep study done?
Nah, they're expensive. And I'm poor.
You should.
That's really the only reason I haven't.
You should try and invest in.
Otherwise, I would. I probably need an apnea mask. But I'm poor. So, what are you gonna do?
I guess you'll just die young.
Yeah, maybe. But maybe I'll have a cool legacy.
Great.
We'll wrap it up there. Time is almost out. Let's end with a round of recommendations. Nelson, what would you recommend people check out?
Skip me. Come back to me.
Nathaniel, what would you recommend people check out?
Skip me.
Okay, to me. I don't know. I have some books here that were for decoration, but I'll pitch one. Surprised by Hope by N.T. Wright. It's a Christian theology book. It's very good. He starts out by going through the historical evidence that proves the resurrection of Jesus. If this is something that you're interested in, check it out. It's a good book. And then he goes into some other stuff that's just absolutely phenomenal. But definitely check it out. Or if you're a skeptic or new to the faith or just interested in Christianity in general because how it shaped pretty much the modern world, check it out. It's very interesting. Very interesting read. That is Surprised by Hope by N.T. Wright.
I recommend you check out Bartending for Dummies. Know nothing about this book, but apparently it teaches you bartending for dummies. So I definitely recommend you check this book out.
I also, somewhere in there, I have Alaska for Dummies as well. Because I'm very interested in Alaska and I want to visit sometime. But it's in there.
I've visited before.
I know, we talked about that on a previous podcast. For those of you who aren't aware, go check out episode 4? 6? I don't know. We talk about Alaska. It's in the footnote. You could find it there. What's your recommendation? Is it just Alaska?
I do recommend Alaska.
Go to Alaska.
To be somewhere between the seriousness of Eric and Nelson. There's an anime I recently finished the third season for, Attack on Titan. That I highly recommend. If you're at all interested in animation or anime in general. It's got one more season coming, but it just finished not too long ago. Its third season. I highly recommend you check it out. It's got a really good story. Animation is beautiful.
It's
very depressing,
and it's quite violent.
And it's quite violent.
A little gory,
but it's a very good story.
A little gory.
Yeah, just
I watched the first episode and thought, this isn't for me.
It's a very
but it is for some people, so check it out if you like that stuff and you're interested in.
And if you happen to stop like after the first season that came out, because there was like a 5-year gap or something between season 1 and 2, so it was rough. But I definitely check it out again if you.
Yeah, that's me definitely.
If you didn't see after the first season.
All right, we have Surprised by Hope by N.T. Wright.
Bartending for Dummies.
Bartending for Dummies, which we have but have not read ever. I don't know why it's in our library at my house. And Attack on Titan, you can find it on Netflix. It's on Netflix, maybe on Hulu, but it's definitely on Netflix.
I think it's on Netflix, the first season. It's definitely on Crunchyroll.
Okay, Crunchyroll. I cannot. We will not take responsibility for any viruses you get from that website. We do. Thank you.
You don't get viruses from Crunchyroll.
It actually is a legit site.
It sounds super legit. Thank you all for watching. This has been Coffee Unfiltered. We will see you on the next episode. Bye bye.